go ahead and get started. I'll have you lay down in Shavasana with your head facing me. Okay, so today's practice is a practice of gratitude for the senses and ultimately a heart opening practice of gratitude for our breath, for our bodies in whatever way they move through the practice today. Gratitude for the space that you've created for yourself. So that's the theme of today that'll be woven throughout the practice through our affirmations, the guidance and cues into postures, and the general vibration of gratitude as we work through heart opening postures today. Heart centered energy is about joy and connection, gratitude, um, just for existing, just for being here in this experience of being human in whatever way that is for you, however that shows up throughout our day. And I like to focus particularly as we're moving through the physical asana practice of yoga, which is just one small aspect of yoga, that we focus on the gratitude for our bodies and how they move through the practice. Not judging our bodies, but just being really grateful for however they have shown up, however they have carried us throughout our day, our week, our life, really. Um, Sometimes it's hard for us to find gratitude for uh, our bodies. They maybe don't do or move the way that we want them to, or look the way we want them to. Um, but finding and cultivating this space of love and compassion and gratefulness, especially in this month where everybody's focusing on gratitude of abundance for our harvest, for our friends, our family. Also finding gratitude for ourselves in our physical and our spiritual and mental bodies. So take a few moments here to feel into your body, to feel into the space of gratitude, of love, and acceptance for however you show up today. And maybe setting an intention for your practice to be grateful for each step that you take, each posture, be grateful for how your body is in this posture. And if you're having a little trouble finding an affirmation or a sankalpa to lean into for your practice today, you may use this as an option. I am grateful for my body and the journey it takes me through life. I am grateful for my body and the journey it takes me through life. And take some time here to begin to create your sacred container for this practice, your space of healing, of presence. Tuning into an awareness of the breath, of any places that you may be holding tension in your body as we begin the practice. Any areas to draw awareness to without judgment. Just noticing where you are right here as you begin to arrive. Take a big inhale in through the nose, gentle pause at the top, and exhale. And we'll meet in child's pose as our first posture today. And bringing a blanket to the mat for your knees. Feel free to use props here if you'd like to use a bolster and maybe lay on the bolster during child's pose. You can. Walking the hands out here, allow the body to sink towards the earth, the hips sinking down, even just with our intention to allow our hips to sink. Thinking about surrendering here and focusing on the breath. Our affirmation here is, I am grateful for the support of the earth beneath me. I am grateful for the support of the earth beneath me. As you begin to become aware of the breath and begin to settle into your practice, see if you can find an even inhale and exhale, following the breath from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. On the inhale, drawing earth energies up through our root to our crown. And on the exhale, letting go of tension, of judgment, of worry, letting it be released to the earth below. Gaze comes up towards the hands. Gently walk the hands back, bringing the head up last. And just pausing here for a moment. Allow the shoulders to sink down away from the ears, maybe rolling them back. And crown of the head reaching, base of the spine sinking towards the earth. Just think of just emptying here, just emptying into the earth. And we'll be moving into a melting heart posture. And for this one, I personally like to use a couple of blocks. You could do this just with your elbows on the mat, but the blocks are a little kinder to our joints. And they also bring the earth closer to you. So coming into a tabletop position with the knees, I'll take my sweater off here, with the knees stacked underneath the hips. Still on the blanket is okay. You'll want to adjust the blocks out a little bit in front of you and coming to your elbows on the blocks. And we can begin here just taking a moment to get situated with alignment. You want your elbows to be slightly in front of you as we'll be sending the chest through. So for me, I'm going to scooch the blocks up a little bit. I'm going to send the chest through, the palms pressing together. You can also take this from a child's pose position and just bringing the arms to the blocks here and sending the chest through. The goal here is to kind of stretch through the heart center here and open the heart to the floor. So if you need to walk the knees in a bit, that's okay too. And we won't be here terribly long, but opening through the heart center here, opening the heart to the earth, expressing our gratitude for our bodies, receiving nourishment from the earth. Using the breath as an anchor. Always, if you're feeling any pain here in the shoulders, any pinching, feel free to gently back out of the posture. 3 more breaths. And gaze comes up gently in whatever way is intuitive to you, back out of this pose. Maybe tucking the toes under and gently walking the hands back. And keeping the palms pressed into the earth here, just letting the hips sink down. Little gentle toe stretch here. Just a few breaths. We'll move into thread the needle. So we'll bring one block to the top of our mat here. You can take thread the needle from a few different positions. You can take it from child's pose. The hips might be kind of tired of that at this point. You can take it from tabletop. You draw the right fingertips up towards the sky and then feed that right arm through, resting our right shoulder onto the mat. You can also take this from the floor, bringing our legs out long here as we are in Sphinx pose. Forearms pressed to the mat. This is a little gentle version of thread the needle. So from Sphinx, we're walking the left hand out, pressing away from the earth here with the palm of our hand, and then feeding that right arm through, resting the right arm on the floor, and then bringing your head to a block, or if it feels good to have it all the way to the floor, you can do that as well. I tend to lean towards having a block just because it brings the support in for the neck and proper alignment for the spine. Always be very gentle with your neck. If you have any sensitivity there, if you feel any type of pulling or tightness, feel free to make any adjustments here. And our affirmation for this posture is gratitude flows through me like a river. Gratitude flows through me like a river. And as you're thinking about this gratitude that we've cultivated in our heart center, flowing through to each arm as we move through this practice. And gratitude flows through me like a river. Thinking about each exhale, love, joy, connection, gratitude. Heart-centered energies flowing from our heart to our fingertips, out into the world. Finding that even breath. And gently draw the left hand under the shoulder and press away from the mat, unwinding, maybe bringing both forearms to the top of the mat and just resting the head, pausing here, forehead to the forearms. And just a couple of rounds of breath. And we'll draw the right arm out, pressing away from the earth, feeding the left arm through, resting the left shoulder to the mat. Head comes to a block. And you can play around with where you want your right hand to be, the one that's reaching out here. See if it feels better to have it stretched a little further or further back towards the body. Find a place that feels good to your body today and where you feel you need the most support or the lengthening of the arm. And again, finding the breath at the heart center and sending this energy of the heart out through the left fingertips. See if you can follow its path as it moves through the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, the hand, the fingertips. With each breath, feeling that opening in the shoulder, the back side of the body. And drawing the right hand under the right shoulder and pressing away from the earth to unwind, coming back to that neutral position with your forehead on your forearms. Just pausing for a moment here. And we'll draw both hands under the shoulders and press the chest away from the earth, sending the hips back. We'll come into tabletop. Knees stacked underneath the hips and wrists stacked underneath the shoulders. You can also come to blocks here. We're preparing for a dragon on the right side. So sometimes gripping the blocks or just having the earth closer to us can be helpful. So stepping or walking that right foot forward to meet the hands. And then we'll just start here in this low lunge, this low flying dragon. And as it feels comfortable to you, maybe inviting the hips to sink down a little deeper towards the earth. And the blocks can also be helpful if you have any wrist sensitivity. I personally did a Pilates practice this weekend. It has my wrist flared up, so the blocks provide a little more support, a little cushion, rather than the hard floor. I always try to make everything accessible, every posture accessible. And it's up to you to listen to your body, make any adjustments if that doesn't align with you, if you need to move or bend in a different way. Our affirmation here is I honor the strength and resilience of my body. I honor the strength and resilience of my body. This dragon posture is a power posture, a posture of strength and courage and resilience. Really grounding that right foot, the sole of the right foot into the earth here. And if you'd like to come down to the forearms, if that feels good to you in this posture, for me, that's a little deep for today. Take whatever variation you feel called to take within. No need to strive for any one posture. They are all just as helpful and equally valid. On the exhale, sending the hips back, gentle half split here, right toes pointed towards the front of the room. And then move back through tabletop, stepping or gently walking that right foot back. And resetting in that neutral posture, the hips and knees aligned, and then stepping or walking the left foot forward to meet the hands. And using the blocks. Left foot to the outside of the left hand. Notice how one side can be quite different from the other. Our bodies are not symmetrical in their abilities, their flexibility, their movement. Often they are quite different from one side to the other. So no judgment here about being able to get into a posture further on one side than the other, or at all even. This practice is just meeting your body where it is and being kind and grateful for where we are today. Finding some compassion. If you'd like to sink the hips deeper down, you can. Always pressing away from the earth here, palms of the hands really active so we can protect our wrists. We don't want to be sinking down into our shoulders here. Lengthening the spine, crown of the head reaching. And finding the breath. When I do this dragon posture, I like to think of my masculine and feminine strengths. Our left side being our feminine, so if I'm thinking about leaning into my feminine strengths here, my intuitive body wisdom, my intuition in general, my fluidity. And I'm thinking about my masculine strengths. It's about the outward expression, the doing, the actions that I take. 3 more breaths here. You are doing great. And last breath on the exhale, gently send the hips back. Left toes pointed towards the front of the room. And we'll step or walk that left foot back. And come to a seated posture, props aside, with the legs in a V shape. We'll find dragonfly. So starting with the sit bones rooted into the earth and your spine reaching. So your crown, imagine there's this string pulling you up into the sky. Shoulders down away from the ears. Toes flexed and pointed towards the body. And see if you can cultivate that even breath, connecting with the flow at the base of the spine to your crown. And we'll draw our left foot towards the inside of the right thigh. And then inhale, bringing the arms up above and reaching on the inhale to lengthen. Exhale, turning towards that right leg and just letting the hands fall wherever they are. Letting your head hang heavy and your spine round. You can also bring your blocks to the top of your leg if you'd like, stacking them in whatever variation brings a space for your forehead to rest. Or you can just let your head hang heavy if that feels okay to your neck, if that feels good to you. Our affirmation here: I embrace the fullness of my heart with gratitude. I embrace the fullness of my heart with gratitude. And gently release any props. And walk the hands back towards the body, bringing the head up last. And coming back to that V shape. We're setting in a neutral posture. Finding our length again. Relaxing our shoulders down. And then drawing that right foot in towards the center, towards that left thigh. And also, I have a lot of space here between my knee and the earth, so sometimes I like to place a block there, or a blanket, bolster, pillow, whatever you have handy. Just closing the gap. And then an inhale, drawing the arms up and reaching. Lengthening, exhale, turn towards that left leg and allow the spine to round here. And the head to come towards the knee. Removing any props, walking the hands back towards the body. Head left, come up here. And then, in whatever way it is intuitive to you, make your way to your back on the mat. And keep your blocks nearby. We'll be moving into a supported bridge. So, having a block handy here at your side. Knees bent and feet hip distance apart here. Take a moment just to tuck the shoulder blades together underneath you. Gently drawing them towards each other. Maybe tucking the chin in towards the chest. And just begin to let the knees windshield wiper back and forth. And see if you can keep the hips in contact with the earth. Just gently, nice and slow, back and forth. Done some hip work today, so we're just gently releasing here before we move into the next posture. Last one on each side. And coming back through center, press through the soles of the feet, lifting the hips just slightly up from the earth and placing the block on the widest side, so on the shortest height, underneath the sacrum, and allowing the hips to rest here. And the weight here moving into the space between the shoulder blades or shoulders pressed into the earth. tucking our chin in towards our chest, lengthening that cervical spine. And palms facing up here at your sides to receive. Palms facing down to ground if maybe there's some excess energies or some stories maybe about your practice today that you'd like to release. Maybe checking back in with your intention from the beginning of practice today. And if you've lost it, that's okay. See if you can invite your awareness back. And our backside of our heart center pressed to the earth. Just thinking about releasing here. Is there anything that's weighing on our heart that we need to let go of? And pressing through the feet, lifting the hips and gently removing that prop, setting it aside, maybe drawing the knees in towards the chest, grabbing wherever you can, back of the thighs, your clothing, tops of the shins, and just rocking side to side a little here, giving our sacrum a little massage, a little release. And then bringing the soles of the feet together, letting the knees fall open here. You can place the blocks underneath your thighs for support. This is Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly. And then hands can rest on the rib cage here or at your sides, maybe the inside of your thighs, wherever is most comfortable. I like to place my hands on my rib cage or on my belly and just tune into the breath here. And surrender to the practice. The first step in letting go and just allowing today to be what it is and to be grateful for the experience, for your body, for movement, for breath. And you can stay here or extend the legs for your final shavasana. Maybe taking a big stretch. And then bringing the arms to your sides, taking up some space on the mat. Let your feet fall open, feeling supported and held here. Giving yourself some time, some space to integrate all of the work that you've done today. Our last affirmation for this practice today. My heart is a source of gratitude and love. My heart is a source of gratitude and love. And gently wiggle the fingers and toes. In whatever way is intuitive to you, making your way to a seated position facing me. And this big circle sweep of the arms on an inhale. Palms together. Exhale. Hands at heart center. Close the eyes and gently bow the head. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice of Yin Yoga, for gratitude of our bodies, of our senses, of our experience. Take a moment here to thank yourself for creating the space and this time and this present moment to be here, to turn inwards, and to love ourselves a little more, our bodies a little more, as they carry us through this experience every day. It is my greatest wish that you carry the benefit of this practice with you throughout the rest of your week, and maybe longer. Sat Nam, may you align with your favorite version of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.